right, so cool. Thank you so much for being willing to do this because I'm sure you can all imagine getting questions from 7 different families all at different times was going to seem really impossible for me. So this is the easy way for me to disseminate as much information as I can all in one place. But of course, at the end, if you guys do have questions, feel free to raise them because I'm sure someone else will have questions. Cool? All right, good. All right, yay. And oh, just real quick too, just so everybody knows, we have 2 really important team members here who raised your puppies. This is Riley right here on the end. She did from pretty much newborn, pretty newborn, right, to about 3 weeks, right? Yeah, so she was #1 mommy for the neonate like phase. And then Carly here has been on top of these guys like nothing, like you would not believe, from like 3 weeks on. So you guys have these 2 young people to thank because they have been the bomb, like for real. So yay. Okay, cool. I know they did such a good job. So good. So, okay, so I'm just going to start off the top with the boring part, the paperwork. You guys all signed it, but the 2 really important things I like to talk about verbally as well is our clause that says we absolutely require that if you at any time cannot take care of your puppies, they have to come back to us. There's just no choice. So you can't take them to shelter. You can't give them to a lovely neighbor or a family member or anything like that. At least tell us. And then if you have someone lined up, we can talk about it. But technically, they need to come back to us. And you guys agreed to that. So, and hopefully that will provide you with a little comfort as well. Because life happens sometimes. But don't let it. That, in saying that, I want you to know we really don't want your puppies back. really don't want them back. He is cute. I know he is. And then the second super important clause is that spay-neuter clause. We do require it. We absolutely are not breeders, so they absolutely can't have puppies. We're still working on securing the spay-neuter certificates with a group in Simi Valley, but so far they haven't been super responsive. But it will be seriously discounted. So, but we're still trying to work on that. So I'll be in touch about that going forward. Okay. Otherwise, basically for female dogs, you want to wait until after their first heat is the minimum. That's the first time you should spay them. The males, you want to wait till a little bit after 1 year old because you don't want to cut off the flow of the testosterone too soon because it does more things than just sexual maturity stuff. It does a whole bunch of other stuff, behavioral, physical, emotional, all kinds of stuff. Okay, so definitely, don't do early spay neuter, even if your vet pushes you to. Just say, no, thank you, and just do it more when I'm suggesting it, because I promise those are the proper times to do it. Let's see. Okay, so then we'll get into more fun stuff. So June 29th is your puppy's birthday. So there you go. You can stick it in your phones forever. And it was a really easy birth, you guys. Mama just like almost did everything. I only had to revive one of them, and it was Cowgirl. Actually, that's who it was. Everybody else was thriving the second they popped out. Okay, so shots. They've had their first set of shots on the 8th. So now you have to wait a 3-week window to get the first booster, and then your second booster will be another 3-week window. Okay, just for everybody to know. And likely on that 3rd round, they're going to want to do your 1-year rabies, but your vet will walk you through that. Okay. Now, sorry, you're all trying to write. I'll say too, and I know I've said it a few times, so I'm just going to say it again so everybody hears it. Like as soon as you can, like yesterday, contact Avid, your microchip company, and change over your puppy's personal information so that it's you guys, but leave us as the emergency contact. Super, super important. Without doing that, if they get into a shelter, if they get into a situation, we're the owners and we will be contacted and you won't, which I'd rather you guys get contacted. But we're here if you need us. That's the point of the emergency contact thing. Okay, there's 2 additional vaccines that are not typically given to dogs, but we really recommend you do it because we're having an outbreak of both things. Okay, the first one is leptospirosis. And if you've heard horrible things about it, don't worry about it. It was very few dogs that actually had a reaction. So But there is an outbreak of leptospirosis currently in LA County. So we're watching out for that one. The second one is canine influenza. Fun. Just like us, we're getting hit with all these viruses now, and it's really irritating. But canine influenza is super important too. So I recommend talking to your vet about looping all those in as well. Okay, cool. So now we're going to jump into, any questions on that so far? Yeah.
Is the 2 shots that you just talked about, is that now?
No, so you're going to want to do those probably after,
the
probably even after the rabies.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're going to want to space them out. And vets are different on this topic. You know, they have different styles. So just kind of go with what your vet says on that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Is that it for shots? We good? Cool. All right, good. So, okay, so let's get into puppy schedules. Okay. So the reason I'm starting here is because the most important part of a puppy schedule is their sleep schedule, because they need a lot of it, like a lot of it. Like I think you guys are going to struggle because there's a lot of awesome stuff going on and she's not going to want to sleep. But guarantee you want your puppy to basically sleep a full night. So these guys typically go to bed at, like, I put them to bed at about 8:30, sometimes 9, and typically, this morning was weird, but typically they're not up until 6:30. So that's what great sleepers they are. Now that's of course in a group, so it's kind of hard to predict how they'll do their first few nights, but that's going to be their natural rhythm that they're going to slide into for you. Okay, and yes, you're welcome. I know. I know. I know. And then puppy goes down. It's going to be so great. It's going to be so organized. I love it. Okay, cool. Now, aside from that, aside from sleeping all night, the puppies still need a good, like maybe 6 to 7, sometimes 8 hours of sleep a day, depending on how much they're growing or what's going on in their worlds, or if they're teething or not. You know, there's a lot of variables to it. But in your head, try to make sure that they get like massive amounts of sleep during the day. Don't worry that, like, if they're sleeping during the day, they're not going to sleep at night. That's not a thing. Trust me, that is not a thing. Dogs are really sleepy animals. They sleep about 80% of their lives away when all is said and done. So I know that's one of the I'm always saying that's one of the reasons we love them. They're sleepy. Go sleep. I love you, but go sleep. Okay, so that's the sleep part of things. And that depends, you know, whether you're doing a crate or not doing a crate, or doing a quiet room or non-quiet room. Your best place for a puppy to nap really is in an enclosed, cozy, dark space. So whatever you can do to provide that, definitely recommend. Aside from that, these guys are currently being free fed. So we're going to, let's see, actually I'm going to talk about that okay, you know what, I'm going to go back. I'm not going to jump into feeding right now. So we talked about the sleep. Their whole day is basically like an activity sleep sandwich. So they wake up, they play, they eat, they go potty, they go back to sleep, and then rinse and repeat. That is your entire day. It's like a cookie sandwich of just that. Okay, that's a normal puppy schedule. Okay, so kind of think of that too as you're doing your days. Okay, because a really important thing to do is when you see your puppy having a really big problem behavior, usually it's teeth. Let's be honest, it's going to be teeth. When those teeth come out, you've got a big problem behavior. You need to look at your hand and know that very likely your puppy is experiencing one of 5 problems that needs to be solved. They are either tired, hungry, need to go potty, they need enrichment, they're bored, or they're having pain. So teething pain is a real big thing. These guys are going to be bigger dogs, so they could get joint pain, like growing pain like we do. So in your head, when you see problem behavior, don't think naughty dog. Think, I have a need that has not been fulfilled. And then see if you can fulfill it. 9 times out of 10, we can. Sometimes, sure, they're cranky, but if it's just general crankiness, it's always sleep. I promise. Put them down for a nap. Do yourselves a favor. Put them down for a nap. Okay? They wake up so much happier. Okay, cool. So let's jump into feeding now. Currently, these guys are being free fed. So for the first 3 days, what I recommend you do is continue free feeding them if you can. I know you guys have a bunch of dogs, so it may not be possible. Oh, you do as well. Okay, cool. They're currently on the Wholesome's chicken formula, so keep them on it. It agrees with all of them. Their stool is solid. They're happy. They're growing. They're healthy. Just keep them on it. It's a great cheap food. Very high quality too. Okay, so that being said, after day 3, what I super recommend is a system of feeding called game feeding. Okay, game feeding is a lot what it sounds like. So the idea here is instead of giving the puppy a bowl of food, which is wonderful, we think that's great, right? Here's a beautiful bowl of food, right? Now, dogs don't like that so much because by nature they're scavenge feeders. So they prefer to sport or think or strategize for food. So we pick up that bowl of dog food and instead we play games with them, okay? Training games, okay? So this is where the training conversation kind of starts up, all right? So the way that I do this, where I start with literally every single dog in my practice, is I start with a game called Reward Anything Good. Now I'm going to send a video home with everybody that you can check out. It's me actively playing it with a young dog, a really brilliant but super green dog. So you can kind of see how it looks when I'm doing it with a dog like live. And what you're doing is you've got the food in a bowl, right? You put it up high, okay, where they absolutely can't reach it. And you show them, like they know you've got it because you've filled it and they've probably heard it getting filled, right? So you put it up here and they're like, wow, this is weird. What's happening? Okay. So all you do then is you look down at your beloved puppy and you wait for a good behavior. It's usually a sit, or it can be a down, can be a cute spin in a circle. It can be a number of things, in fact, like behaviors that they physically already do, but all you need to do is capture them and say, hey, that was cool. I like that. So let's pretend I'm standing here. I've got my bowl of food. Puppy does a sit, okay? I say yes, and they get 1 kibble. Great. Okay, so they're like, oh, that was cool. That was kind of fun, in fact. What happens if I bark? Oh no, if they bark, guess what? They don't get a kibble, okay? So then they're like, maybe if I beg like a little clown dog. Oh, yes, love the begging, super cute. Or maybe you don't like it. Maybe you want to extinguish it. Depends. It's a personal choice, right? So, but the idea here is you're going to reward anything you like with the kibble, okay? Now, I know this sounds like a lengthy process, but I assure you it's not. Once the dogs get hooked on it, you can go through a pretty decent bowl of food really fast, okay? So check out the video. Let me know, of course, if you have follow-up questions, and I can address them accordingly. But that's kind of like the quick version of game feeding. Okay, is there any questions on that? I know I'm going through stuff really fast. Really, for a young puppy, I never exceed like 5 or 6 minutes at a time. So whatever they don't finish, because obviously they're still hungry, then I usually scatter feed the rest. Like, oh, go get it. So they're going to eat enough so they have proper nutrition, because it's not about withholding food. It's actually a very generous system of feeding and training. It builds really tight bonds, and it makes them realize that they care about what we think. And at the end of the day, that's like kind of all of training, right? That's really all we're trying to do, So yeah, for young puppies, if you can do it 4 times a day, great. But if you do it twice a day, okay. The more the merrier. And you keep it light and you keep it fun, and your energy is like, ooh, what can we learn today? Kind of feel like think toddler, and igniting their interest in learning new material, right? Okay, cool. So you did, okay. So the reason I'm starting here is because the number 1 rule, so obviously I'm a dog trainer by trade. I do, of course, a ton of rescue on the side. My main goal for you guys is to prevent problems from even surfacing. Okay, that's the easiest way to do it. So a really important takeaway when we're talking behavior modification, just in your head, the golden rule of behavior modification is what you give attention to is what you'll get more of. Okay, so I'm talking behavior, and and you can swap out the word attention with treat, praise, love, a toy, a fun game suddenly. Those are all attention and focus. In the game feeding, of course, we're doing it with food, which is nice and quick and easy and efficient. But in life in general, just remember what you give attention to is what you'll get more of. So then what you do is you're going to be growing, you're going to be seasoning your puppy for all these nice, calm, easy breezy choices. And all of those not so great choices, they don't get anything for it. Just nothing happens. We don't say no. We don't say we don't nothing. We just, oh, that doesn't get my attention. You see? So that's your number one way. A lot of the times with a young puppy, if you just follow this rule from day one, the dogs turn out really bomb proof. They just already know what to do because they were set up to succeed doing the right stuff. Does that make sense? Cool. Okay, great. So in that situation, you wouldn't turn away. So here's my other great tip. What you do is if you don't like a behavior, just remove whatever it is they're focused on. So if it's you, we walk away. Okay. Like if a puppy's trying to jump on me when I'm training them, I just disengage. And I don't say anything. I just turn around and walk away. And they're like, hey.
It's like chewing on the corner of the book or something. You just remove the book.
You would, well, first that's kind of different. So I'll do this one and then I'll do that one. So with the bacon on the counter, for the wrapping on the counter, thank you. What I would do is I would actually get over there as quick as you can and scooch it back so he can't get it at all and walk away. So he learns, oh, if I jump for the counter for that amazing smell, what I wanted goes further away. So that's not a winning strategy. So I better try something else next time.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Cool.
But so I just put it in the trash.
Okay. Yeah. So you put it away.
Next time you want me to push it away?
I mean, the point is you take it.
Leave stuff.
Yeah, I know. So the point is you get it as far away from the dog as possible, so that they're like, okay, I won't jump on counters because what I wanted goes further away. See, that's the thinking. And your example was
like
a book.
Chewing on like the corner of a book or something.
So okay, so for a corner of a book, what I prefer to do, because that's low to the ground, and so that's another one. Well, shame on me for having a book on the ground, right? Okay, so other than that, what you want to do is go grab any toy, another toy, actually grab a few, and just start you play with the toy. Go, do do la la la, my toy is cooler than that book, la la la, whatever you have to do. And then he'll be like, whoa, I think I want that toy instead of that book, instead of this dumb book. And then they'll come towards you, and then you can engage with them a little bit, like, oh yeah, here's the toy. Oh my gosh, here's the toy. And then once they're engaged in that, you just go, boom, pick up the book and put it away. Cool. So it's two different scenarios, but you get the point. The point is you don't want to yell at them, no spanks, no none of that stuff, because that just makes us look edgy, unpredictable, and kind of crazy. And like, why should I trust you? You just yelled at me. Like, you know what I mean? So it just helps them understand. Just think of that overall rule is what you give attention to is what you get more of. That's how we grow the good behaviors. Cool. And that's how we extinguish the yucky behaviors we don't want. Cool. Okay, good. Okay, now, really quick. Okay, so here's something cool for you, but not for me, is I have one puppy left over. She's going to be living here. Ooh, yay. And so what I'm thinking I'm going to do is while I still have her, I'm going to actually be doing updated little training videos for you guys. And then I'll be uploading them so that you can mirror like exactly what I'm doing with Guppy. Okay. So that way you'll have easy access to literal, like in the moment, like where we should be at, you know, with each puppy. You'll be able to see me doing it with Guppy.
Is that going to be on the Facebook page?
I mean, it will, but I'll get into the technical stuff. I'll let you guys know and then I'll send you links. Okay. So I'll make it really easy once I get it all set up. Of course, this is a grand plan, but we'll see how it plays out. I know. So I have big dreams sometimes. Okay. already talked about sleep, but it's so important. And I'm going to say it again. Your puppies need a lot of sleep or they're going to be cranky. And yeah, Carly's going like, yeah, they do. They need a lot of sleep. So there you go. Sleep, sleep, sleep. Can't stress it enough. Okay, let's move on to house training because that's usually another huge topic. So as you guys know, your puppies are litter trained. Yes. Okay, so it's a huge thing because litter trained puppies translate way better to outside potty than the paper trained or those pee-pee pad training ones. So what we're going to do is we're going to send home, Carly's bagged up some pee-pee litter for everybody to take home. Yay.
Delicious.
Oh, wow. Specially made for you. So you're just going to take that home. Actually, you probably don't need to because you have dog pee in your yards anyways. But yeah, you're like, I don't need that. But anyways, you take it, whatever. Then all you need to do is sprinkle it wherever you want your puppy to go potty going forward. And guess what? That's where your puppy will go potty if you take them specifically to that spot really frequently. Okay, that frequency is definitely the key here, right? Aside from that, my number one hack for house training, you ready for this? Okay, let's say your puppy has an accident, whether you see it or don't see it in action, what you want to do is just make a mental note of where it is. You pick up your loving puppy, you pretend like you're not upset, but you're upset, and you're going to put them in their crate or you're going to put them somewhere they like to be. No pressure, no upsetness, nothing. Literally, you're going to be completely a blank slate. Then you're going to clean it up really good. I recommend an enzyme style puppy cleaner, like Nature's Miracle is usually pretty good. And then you are going to clean it up super good. Don't let the puppy witness you cleaning it. It's really important that they literally think aliens abducted their potty. It's an important factor, in fact. And then what you want to do is the next time you feed them, whether you're game feeding them or putting it in a bowl or scatter feeding them, guess what? You're going to feed them right in that spot. Then they're like, oh, I don't want to potty where I might be eating. Okay, because dogs are actually, they're innately really clean animals. So once they know that their inside is their den, they want to keep that super clean. That's just a natural instinct thing. It's a survival thing, actually. So use that little tidbit. That is your number one trick. Now, sometimes people say, yeah, but what if the dog goes potty in another place? You just rinse and repeat. Just do that same protocol every single time. And within a few days, your dog's like, oh, got it. Like, don't potty anywhere in the house. Copy. Okay. That's super, super good trick. I don't know why it's not all over the internet, but it's 100% accurate. So that's house training. Oh, and obviously if you see them in action, you can just kind of clap your hands just a smidge. Don't scare them. You just want to get their attention. Take them outside, let them down. Hopefully they'll eliminate in front of you. If at any time they do eliminate in front of you, these puppies know a potty mantra because we've actually been training them to potty on cue as well, which is a nice convenience. So we've been saying while they eliminate, go potty, go potty, go potty. Okay, so you want to do that once you get home as well, because then what you're doing is you have cue trained your puppy to, when you say go potty, they will potty later. It only takes about a week because they'll start eliminating on cue so long as you do the mantra while they're eliminating, not before, never before, during elimination. So that they know, oh, what I'm doing is that's called go potty, and the humans really like it for some reason. Okay, then of course, if you have successful potty outside, you throw a potty party. Yay, oh my goodness, best puppy ever. You can play a little game. You don't need a treat. You really don't need a treat here, I promise. If your delight is a huge thing for them, then they're like, oh my God, I'm going to pee outside all the time. This is the best thing that's ever happened to me. Okay. Okay. So that's housebreaking. Potty mantra, litter train. Yes. Well, that's up to you. I mean, you can look around my house. Like, there's no carpets in my whole house, unfortunately, other than something I can throw in the washing machine. That's just because I have crazy volumes of dogs in and out. But that's up to you guys if you pick up a carpet. Yeah, they smell it. They'll be repeat offenders. And also dogs prefer, here's a fun tidbit, they prefer to go potty on something absorbent because they don't like to get their paws wet. Truth. It's crazy. They don't like to be messy or smelly, so they're going to look for something squishy, soft and squishy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't blame them, right? Who likes the smell of pee on her?
Yeah. I don't put it on the bed yet.
What?
Don't put them on the bed yet.
Exactly. Yeah, don't put them on the bed yet. Okay. Okay, cool. Last point, and hopefully this is already evidently very clear, but these puppies have not been yelled at. They have never been hit. They have never been scolded or any aversive used in any way, shape, or form. So I would really hope and pray that you guys keep that trend going. Treat them gently because they're just young mammals, just trying to find their way in the world, you know. And sometimes, you know what, we get upset, we get frustrated. I totally get it. But try just taking a breath. It's like with a kid, you just take a breath, take a step back, and go back when you're feeling a little better. Okay. So, but you guys are all great because we handpicked every one of you. So I'm not too terribly worried. Okay. I'm just going to go through a few items I've got up here because I usually get a lot of questions about what to buy. Okay. First of all, this, and I have 2 copies that I can give away today. Unfortunately, they didn't have enough copies for me. This is a brand new book by the folks that I study with. He's a vet behaviorist. That's who I do all my continuing education with. Highly recommend these books. If you don't take one home, at least download it or put it on your audio books or whatever. These are great. This is a puppy Bible for training. Okay, this is like everything you could possibly need to know here. This is also a really great periodical called the Whole Dog Journal. It's super cheap. It comes, I think it's every 2 months. And it's so great. They have like recall information. They have new training techniques that are newly discovered. They have all kinds of behavior conferences and info. So highly recommend the Whole Dog Journal. It's actually pretty amazing. I really like that. I have this up here just as a reminder. A lot of people are tempted to buy a lot of these games-based toys, but I just want to point out you can spend all your money you want, but they'll figure these out in a nanosecond. So instead, what I recommend doing is the game feeding. It's free, and you can keep it as novel and interesting as you could possibly ever want. Okay, because there's literally hundreds of games. And you just use your imagination sometimes to create games. So these are fun, but kind of a waste of money in my opinion. Chew bones. Oh, this is my personal model too, motto too, just in case anybody's paying attention. These are good. These are great bones. Yeah, these Nyla bones are fantastic. These ones are the DuraChew. It has these nubs on it. Oh, they love them. They've been attacking this one. And then this one is more for the now stage. They're going to grow out of this one really fast. That's why I wanted to show it, because this part is kind of softer, the red part. So this is probably better going forward, but this is okay for now if you want it, something like this.
What's that called again?
This is I think it's called a DuraChew, or sometimes they call it a Power Chew Nyla bone.
Oh, it is the Nyla
bone.
Okay,
Yeah.
So they have a lot of those.
Yes, I love Nyla bones, but you want the hard ones, not the squishy puppy ones.
Okay.
They have a field day on these.
Okay.
And then in general for chewies, like if you want to get a natural chewy, antlers are phenomenal. And then I'm old fashioned. I say give them a stick too. Sticks are great. They're messy in the house, but they're great in the yard, right? I mean, sticks are great. Yeah. Okay, as far as leashing, I only recommend harnesses because we don't want to put pressure on dogs' tracheas. Bad stuff comes from that, and plus it's uncomfortable. So I say use a harness. This is the harness I recommend for small dogs, which your guys pretty much are for a little bit more. It's called a Gooby or a Goby, Gooby. You'd probably want to start with a medium. That's if you need a harness immediately, which I don't know if you will. Well, probably for your vet visit coming up. Anyways, so this is a good harness that I recommend. The reason I like it is because once you clip it, there's a little bit of give so that it can be like this, which is loose, no pressure. And then if the dog goes forward or backward and applies pressure, it squeezes around their middle. There's absolutely no pressure here. So you've got your dog, even if they get scared and try to back out of the harness, you've still got your dog. Okay? This is my favorite and only harness I recommend as an adult. This is called a harness lead. It looks like a tangled mess right now, but it's really cool. The reason it's considered the safest and best harness in the industry, most rescues are using them now, because every time you put it on your dog, it's a custom fit. Boom. You adjust little thingies so that literally whether your dog is having a fat or a thin day, you've got them every time. Okay, we can all relate to that, right? So this, highly recommend the harness lead. You can get them on all the big box, online retailers, or you can get it on harnesslead.com. Okay, so that is what I've prepared. Do you guys have any side thoughts you want me to cover? No?
Yeah, with the leaving them alone.
With the what? Separation anxiety. Oh, what a huge conversation. Yeah, I can't tell you. So many of in my practice, so many cases are separation anxiety based. So separation anxiety, okay, so here's how I like to talk about separation anxiety. Right now, you have a great opportunity to prevent it from happening. Again, like I was saying, prevention is your key here. What's really important with separation anxiety is you want to look for opportunities for your dog to practice being alone. Okay, now it's going to be different with you guys with all the dogs. She's never probably really going to be alone, and the cat and stuff. But the idea is you need to look for opportunities. Even though they're teeny tiny, you still need to give them an opportunity to be by themselves, even if it's 3 minutes here and then 10 minutes here, and I need a shower for 20 minutes. Sorry, love you, but yeah, you need to be alone. Because if you don't practice alone time now, it's going to be a lifelong struggle. And yes, we can fix it, but boy, I sure don't like fixing it because it's hard. The only way out is through, and it's kind of challenging sometimes for some people. So yeah, so just for now, just practice making sure they're alone. Yeah, rather than hovering over them all the time. That's how you create separation anxiety.
And then for longer periods of time, more than however many months they are, right?
Oh, I don't follow that. I'm not, yeah. To me, it's more of like an individual kind of, and it depends upon the personality. If they're a super confident dog, the puppies have all kinds of different personalities. Some of them are more confident. Some of them are a little more like, where'd Carly go? Right? Like you hear right now. So you kind of have to gauge it on your puppy and just never let them go into panic attack mode. If you can avoid panic attack mode, that screaming, crying, throwing themselves against things, then definitely contact me so I can help. But try not to push them beyond their tolerances. We just want to do like simple micro exposures to alone. And I know you've got a work schedule to think about. We can talk about more with that specifically. But yeah, the idea is to just make sure they practice being alone. Think of it as a skill. Being alone is a skill, and we need to keep it live. Yeah.
When they are so for example, Bella, she when she's alone, sometimes she likes to cry.
Yeah.
That's fine, right?
It's
walk away from it.
It's hard. Okay, so yeah, you have to kind of weigh it okay, have I done the big 5? Do we know it's not potty, not hunger, not lonely?
It's just 'cause I'm not there.
Yeah, if it's literally just your absence, you want to kind of do a little kind of just gauge it. You've got to kind of make your decision. One really good trick though, if your puppy is having a panic attack, like let's say they're in a fenced in area and they're like, they're having a freak out and you're like, oh, I don't like it. I need this to stop. Poor baby's really suffering. I do a really funny activity. I come in near to where the dog is struggling. I don't look at them. I don't talk to them, nothing. But I come near them and then I urgently straighten a picture on the wall. So urgent. And then guess what? They stop crying. So they stop because they're like, what are they doing? And then sorry, did you need a snuggle? Oh, okay. Then you go and you deliver the comfort or whatever you think they might need in the moment so that you get that pause before you go to them. Does that make sense? You just want them to take a breath and be kind of like, huh, oh, now I see you. You're a quiet puppy. Oh, I see quiet puppies. I don't really see loud screaming puppies as much. I mean, you do, but that's kind of the message you want to send them, right? So that we make sure that they understand, oh, quiet puppies get our attention. So it's tricky. That's a great question because it's a tricky thing to navigate. And I know you're going through it. Yeah, it's a good question. Okay. Anything else like that? Yeah.
Can you explain the differences between and how to use the crates versus an enclosed play area
Yeah.
versus free reign of the house?
Yeah. Okay. So the number one rule for free reign is you have to watch them like a hawk. So you have to have attention 100% on them. I always tell people, think toddler in a marble factory. Like that kind of attentiveness. Like, okay, we could die at any moment, sort of thing. Like that attentive. So that's your loose time in answer to the question. Someone's got to have eyeballs on them, especially for these first few weeks. Crate is generally for like real exhausted puppy, really needs that nap. Think of crate as like a crib, baby's crib. Okay, it's for organized sleep. It's for calming activities, chewing a bone, this sort of thing. You can do the crate. If the house cleaners come, that's a great time for crating. Things like that. Okay.
And you close the door when they're in the crate?
Yes, you do. Yeah, because then they're more likely to be like, oh, okay, I'm cocooned. I have fewer options. It eliminates their options, and then they'll pass out. Yeah, you can put a blanket over it or a sheet over it, and you can put a white noise machine if you want, or Carly's Magic Music. They're going to be like, wait, what is that music now? So that's the crate, okay? The playpen or like a room with a fence, that's usually for like, okay, puppy doesn't need a nap, but I need to make a phone call kind of thing. You're in the area-ish, but your back is turned kind of thing. But then you also, so you'll probably want to do the room idea for when you're gone because you have a 5-hour work window, right? The laundry room. Yeah. Laundry rooms are great for this. Yeah, that would be more appropriate for like a 5-hour window.
Okay.
And then you make sure he's got his water, he's got something to chew on, his bed, a crate. He'll probably want the crate in there for comfort, but with the door open in that scenario.
Do you think that like a potty patch, or are they just gonna?
I don't recommend.
Have to hold it.
Yeah.
The whole time I'm gone.
I don't recommend putting anything in your house for potty. The reason is because then they're like, oh, so I can go potty in the house. Copy. But guarantee you'll come home. Yeah, guarantee you'll come home to an accident though. But then you follow the clean up, you put them away so they can't see, you clean it up, and then just make sure you feed them in that same area next time.
Okay.
And then very quickly they'll be like, oh, got it. I don't go potty in my laundry room either. Cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm scared to leave him. Like, I think I'm just going to go to work for like 2 hours.
And then pop home. Yeah. And lots of people end up doing that too.
Because I have some flexibility there.
Yeah.
Luckily, but
yeah.
When I put him in the crate for the first time,
yeah,
it was the panic.
Did he have a panic attack? Oh, okay.
I couldn't do it to him when I took him out.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know what I'm doing.
I know. Okay,
and
poor
it
Bubba.
Was that he was scared, and it
Yeah.
was the first night.
Yeah,
and
that's
it was
hard.
Night, but
That's
every day's getting better.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So good. So it's trending in the right direction for you. Okay. Love that. Okay.
Just
cool.
a couple accidents.
Okay.
And,
great.
I wish he would sleep more than 5:30 in the morning, but
yeah, he'll get there. Your early
like
days stuff.
5:30 in the morning.
That's so funny. That's earlier than here. That's so funny.
Not what I do.
Yeah. Oh, do they all get up at 5:30? Okay. Well, unfortunately, Jackie will be up at 5:30 then. So. Yeah.
But he goes right back to bed though.
Yeah.
Like I'll take him out.
Great.
And then
they're still tired.
Yeah.
He's still tired. Yeah. So I take.
Good.
The good thing is he'll just come. I let him nap next to me when I'm on the couch.
Great. Okay.
And I've even fell asleep and he doesn't do anything.
Mm.
But he just stays right by me.
Oh.
So yeah, he's actually a really As
so
puppies
glad.
go.
Yeah, that's what
I know
everybody's
that- I
saying.
know that
Everybody's
you guys
saying.
did something with them because
Yeah, we did. We did a
this
lot.
is not a normal puppy.
I know. We
This-
did a
my
lot, you
friends are
guys.
like, because Peanut sits for dog food.
What? Already?
And
That's
he,
mean.
and he plays
Yeah.
down. And
Yeah.
he can go down.
So what we did, just so you guys know, you can look it up. It's a program called Puppy Culture. And from the moment they were born, we were following a binder of activities and suggestions and what we do at any different age. It went on a week by week basis. So we followed that guideline to make sure that your puppies are flexible, easygoing, don't startle easily. They know what a vacuum is. They've already had fireworks played for them. And there's a comment right there. So they've been exposed. We've done soft exposures to like, huh? Oh, it's River. Okay. It's one of my dogs.
They're out.
Did you
Yeah.
expose them to a blow dryer by chance?
I exposed them to a bunch of noises.
Yeah,
I did.
you did a whole thing too. Yeah, we may have even gone a little overboard, but no, they've even heard train sounds, whistles. Oh, another thing we did, we played a game called Magic Carpet where we put them on something and we move it around. That prepares them for not having motion sickness in the car.
Bella is
Knock on
amazing
wood.
in the car.
So far, everybody says their puppies love the car. They're like, "Oh, we're in the car. Cool."
Mine falls asleep
I've
in the
played
car.
this game before. This is
Mine
called
falls
Magic
asleep
Carpet.
in the car too,
Yeah.
but I
Does
can't tell you it's his favorite place.
Yeah.
Okay.
She doesn't
Okay.
want to get out of the car.
Okay.
He wants to get on
Okay.
me while I'm driving. I'm
Oh,
like, "You're
no.
gonna cause me to crash."
Yeah, no, put them in a crate in the car. You got to secure them in the car.
But the crate, I have to get a smaller crate because
Oh,
the crate,
yeah, you don't have a car crate. Okay.
is there such a thing called
Well,
a puppy
sure.
crate?
Just a smaller, you just get a small, even like a cheapy soft-sided crate can work
Okay.
for the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I needed to
You
know.
can also you can get him comfortable with one of these harnesses and you can seatbelt him in too.
Can you get that at PetSmart today?
No, I'm sorry. I know. None of my stuff you can actually get in the big box stores.
Yeah, that's called it.
This is the Goby or Gooby. I don't know how to say it. Gooby, yeah.
And then you said
Yeah.
medium, correct? For,
Yeah, I think
for
these
our
guys
dog
would be
size?
mediums right now. Yeah, I think that should work for you guys. Okay. But yeah, car safety is like a whole other topic. So, okay, cool. Are we good? I'm excited. You excited? Okay, cool. You're like, oh, I don't know. We're excited. Okay.
It's actually fun.
Yeah?
And
Okay.
It was exhausting, but it's getting better.
Yes. Okay, good.
That's
Good.
really my main concern is the nighttime thing.
Fatigue, I
Yeah,
know.
but the music really works.
Yeah,
Like,
it
I
did.
put like a
Or when I
JBL.
leave to go
That's what
to
I
a
did.
shoe or
I put
something.
a
Uh-huh.
But I know he needs to practice being alone.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, okay, I just want to make sure it's cool.
Yeah.
And I will do music and I put it on the TV.
Yeah.
I'll put that in there.
Okay.
That's my concern is the treats. I take my kids up to their dad's.
Yeah.
2-hour thing.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure it's cool.
Yeah. I know it's tough.
He would be okay, but I went to the shower
Yeah.
and I was expecting him to cry the whole time. He didn't.
Oh,
Literally, I
good.
walked away to go
She
to
knows
the
my
shower
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, but he's not crying.
Yeah.
Ah,
Okay.
So,
cool.
like,
Okay.
the little
So
times,
there's
like,
hope.
I'm-
There's hope.
And I try to get him like happy to be in his pen. I
Yeah.
have a ton of toys of those.
Okay.
Yes,
But
they
that
do.
makes
They
sense,
love
yeah.
toys.
Brandon's like, you have way too many
crate.
toys.
Yeah.
No.
There can never be too many.
That's what.
Bring
that's
on the
what I was
toys.
gonna
Bring on the toys. Okay, cool. All right, good. So that's what I've got for you guys. We're gonna do paperwork.